And it was a great time of leadership development for me as a young guy in my early 30s. And so I was up at camp this past week. And our kids, I got to praise God for our kids. They actually love their pastor. And they kind of show it most of the time. But I was like that old pastor with the gray beard. And all the other kids are like, who is this guy? And then they're going, hey, Mr. Angel. Hey, Mr. Angel. And I'm driving home, and I'm talking to Trish, and I said, babe, Angel's like the new me up there. It's kind of, but it's really, really, really good. Because you want to see someone come up and replace you. And so Angel and Kim, I saw them a number of years ago when Angel was working in RU with Peter. And I wanted to steal him from Peter. And Peter wouldn't let me. But I knew in my heart that Angel belonged in the teen group. And when I look at Angel and Kim, I just see so much of Trish and I in them. And I just love to see them working together as a team. And they have a good group of support system with them. And so I just want to talk about Angel tonight just a little bit, because I remember when I was 28, 29 years old and I took over the youth group from Rick, who is Mr. Dependability, right? The boss. He's the guy that you always go to when something goes wrong. Let's go to the boss. Or my father-in-law, Ken Bourneville at the time. And then Pastor Klaus stuck me in teen group, and there was this wild card in teen group. And I didn't do everything perfectly, but I loved those kids, and I loved God, and I wanted to teach them that doing it God's way really makes a difference. And so I see that same zeal in Angel. So I'm going to ask you parents tonight is this. Is Angel going to make some bad decisions? You think? With a name like Angel, it's there's a good chance. Will Kim keep him out of trouble for the most part? Yes. That's what Trish and Kim do. They help temper all this, right? Even now, they help temper all of this. But I'm going to ask you parents to extend grace to Angel and Kim. Yeah. And use them as a tool in your belt to help you with your adolescence. All right? Talk to them. Fill them in on what you're concerned about with your kid. If there's something that you wish you could talk to your kid, but you're having a hard time talking to your kid about it, send him a text and say, hey, I'm really struggling communicating this with my kid. And he'll either do a devotion or he'll take a Sunday morning Bible circle and he'll just flip it and he'll teach on it. And so use these youth leaders around you. Don't beat them to death because they screw up. Seriously, I mean, like, your kids came home mostly alive. I think we had a broken nose at one of the camps I went to. We might have had a broken arm. We had lacerations. I never felt like it was a successful camp unless there was blood or something broken. Or at least vomiting. There was some vomiting? Good. And there was some blood. He had the butter steri strips across his eyebrow. And it was all the same friend. It was his brother that did it to him. So we were okay with that. We're like, at least Elijah did it to Luke. Jen really can't blame us for that one. But I wanted to say that because I see Angel in action. I go up to summer camp. He has the respect of the other church leaders. And when you see that in a young guy, that blesses my heart as a pastor of our church. And it should help you guys as parents say, maybe we should appreciate what God has given us. Maybe even a little bit more than we do. I know that I do, especially now that Chloe is 13, going to Pinkerton in the fall. I'm glad that she has a senior high youth group to move out of those junior high years with someone like Angel and Kim to minister to her. And that's not to say that that Daryl and Teresa and Josh and April and Stephen and Sarah are not important and integral to our youth ministry. And I don't mean to disregard everybody else's role here. But the leadership of the entire kit and caboodle falls under Rick Moore and then Angel. And I see what he does, and I've talked to Daryl about this and how good he is to work with. And that's something else you want to know. You want to know that your leader can work with other leaders and that he inspires people. So, anyways, he's going to cry. He's all teared up. Let's listen to what he has to say about camp. I want to thank you all who have come out to support the youth. Oh, get out of here. Come on, give him up.
I'll try not to. I love you guys too. It's my little family. As you can tell from my voice, camp was awesome. Like Pastor said, you guys have given me the privilege of being the youth director, and it doesn't happen just by me and my wife. It happens with the help of, if you guys could stand, Josh, April, Stephen, Sarah, Daryl, and Teresa. Give these guys a round of applause. I'm that type of visionary person, but it's hard for me to get things done without them. So I really appreciate them. Definitely appreciate my wife because she keeps me grounded. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm like, why not? It's fine. A pastor said it's okay. Yeah, don't do that. So, but it was, just, and I just want to kind of, what I thought was awesome, even before we went to camp. So Daryl and Teresa are our junior high leaders. So Josh and April are their kind of helper and their supporters. Their kids are in senior high group, and their kids asked them if they wouldn't mind staying home. That way they could have a parent-free camp. And at first I didn't quite understand it, but as parents, I can appreciate it now looking back, what they did, how they sacrificed for their kids. Because I don't think for them it would have been the same thing. I don't think our breakout sessions would have been the same if Daryl's sitting there with his son, and I don't think Garrett could be completely honest and completely open. I don't think Erica could have been completely honest and completely open. And so I just want to give a huge round of applause that they're able to humiliate themselves, humble themselves, and do that. That was awesome. You guys have great, great parents. And so, again, just thank you guys for supporting the youth group year in and year out. I have a few kids that want to give testimonies, so they get some brief testimonies of what camp was like for them. Erica.
All right, guys. So we all know camp was pretty awesome, right? Duh. So camp was awesome because we got to do things we love while being clean, and we didn't have to feel guilty for what we did there. And camp isn't only awesome because we can do things we want, and we can also go there because we learn about God. And one of the sermons that Pastor Perry Jones was talking about, he was talking about little foxes that come in and eat the fruit that we produce through God. And some of the foxes might be not reading the Bible, or your friends might be one of the foxes, and they might hinder you from producing God's fruit and what he wants you to do. And I think we were all challenged to get rid of the foxes, and I think that not only us but all of you guys should be challenged to get rid of the foxes in your life, because those are what keeping you back from serving God and producing what he wants you to. And I think that all of the girls here were fantastic. Come on. They dealt with me. Let's go. We were just together all the time. It was we made a little mini family. And some of us went from not even knowing each other's names to like crying together day in and day out. And trust me, you do not want to see me cry. It is not good. So we are sitting there and we just like cry together all the time. And so they all just like jump on me and like hug me when I'm crying. And sometimes I can't breathe, but I mean, come on, they love me. So I want to thank all of the leaders because they gave up their time. And I know Josh, he almost didn't come because his boss said that he might not be able to, and he almost lost his job. But then his boss told him that he could, and I think maybe that was God working in his boss's heart and told him that he should let him have the week off. And he worked extra time just so he could come to camp, and that is amazing. So thank you, Josh. And thank you, Angel and Kim, for being the leaders and showing us that we should worship God in whatever we do. Even when we come home and the fire of camp starts to dwindle out in the first month, that we should still worship God even though it's really hard and we want to give up. And so thank you guys for that. And thank you, Sarah and Stephen, for being the other senior high leaders who were just so real. And they didn't feel they had to put on a mask and be perfect Christians. And you just showed us how we could serve God and we can still be ourselves and not be someone else. So thank you, guys. And thank you, Colin, for your first year as a junior high leader. You were awesome, and I'm sure you kept them in line. And most importantly, we want to thank God because 6 kids got saved at camp this year. He was definitely working in everybody, and we all, I'm sure, made decisions to worship him more. And I am very happy that we went to camp this year. We might have had some thoughts that we might not have wanted to, but it was definitely worth it this year.
Okay, so first off, camp this year was awesome. So some of you know that I wasn't going to be able to go this year just because of reasons that came up. And so the whole time I was freaking out, like in my head, I don't have any control over this. Why can't I just make it so that I can go? I didn't do anything wrong. And so then finally I just decided that if God wants me to be there and if there's a reason I need to be there, that he'll open a door or something so that and make it so that I can go. And so then the Sunday night before camp, I found out that I was able to go. And so then during the week, every single message that Pastor Perry Jones preached, I was able to apply and relate with. And every single day this week, whether it was in our nightly devotions in our cabin, or if it was in chapel during testimony time, I made a decision every night, and so it's just, this whole week was just incredible. And my best friends, 2 younger sisters, were able to come, and they both got saved.
Anyone else? You guys good? Colin? Yeah.
Hi. First year, like Erica said, this is my first year being a counselor, and it was a huge blessing. And doing junior high with Josh, it was just great being in the cabin with him. I have older brothers, but they're really not saved, and he's like that Christian older brother that I've never had and always wanted. I'm just really thankful for him. I'm going to try to cry tonight, but I guess I am. Like, it was just a huge blessing. Like, I felt like I got more for being a counselor than I was a camper. And when I heard that Pastor Perry Jones was going to be the guest preacher, I just got so excited. I love that guy. I have so much respect for him. The two messages that got me the most were, I think it was Wednesday night, it was about trials and what we do during those trials. And Friday morning, it was like those temptations we had, but the way he did it was a virus in the computer. And those two just really convicted me and really got to me. These guys are my family. Like, this is my home church, Tabernacle is, but these guys mean the world to me. And I'm so happy that I've been able to meet them. I get to know them. And I'm just really thankful for them. I want to thank the other counselors, for being in my first year. I was extremely nervous because my comfort zone is newborns in 6th grade, and going to teens was new to me. I was really nervous, but the Lord really helped me get through. And I just want to thank the Lord, especially because 2 weeks before, I just had a really nasty attitude. I was really mad. Everything just got to me, and I set a short temper with everything. And when I got to camp, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, why was I this way? So I just started praying, and I realized it was Satan trying to get to me. So I wasn't this happy, energetic person that I usually am during camp. He wanted me angry because he knew if I did, I would be mad at everyone, and he tried to get to me. So before I went, I just prayed and prayed and prayed, just praying God that I don't have this attitude that I had before I came. So Lord helped me, and I'm challenging the teens, the counselors, everyone. I was scared coming back because the last few years, as soon as I came back, just went right into the world and just did what I did because Satan got to me. But I'm just trying harder this year to just keep that fire going and not extinguish it. So I'm just praying and challenging everyone to keep that fire going, and that we just keep this fire for him and try for those foxes not to get to us. And again, this has been an amazing year, and I thank God for it.
Amen.
So camp was obviously really awesome this year, just like it is every year. And so the big thing that we had going on this year, we kind of have like a motto every year. Last year was Team Steven. This year was Team 110%, because obviously all week long we put 110% into everything that we did because we're EBC. So the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, 110%, this is great. But everyone, and a lot of testimonies they gave was like, I'm worried about going home and losing. So, like, every year, it's like, I don't know, maybe a few weeks after that, I'm just not on fire anymore. I'm like, yeah, I'm home, going to work, doing school, whatever. And a lot of testimonies people gave, they were like, yeah, I'm worried about going home. Like, the fire goes away every year. I don't know what to do. And then this morning when Pastor was preaching, well, firstly, last night, I was just sitting there, and, like, I was like, wow, I'm home. I'm just sitting here reading all these posts people are making on Facebook. EA camp's over, just sitting at home. And so when Pastor was preaching this morning, I'm still worried about that. And when he was talking about Adam and Eve and how they sinned and they realized they were naked, that they tried to cover themselves up and do that for themselves because they were going to make it so God didn't have to see them. And it's all me, me, me. I'm going to do this for myself. And then the way he said it, he said that's exactly what religion is. So when I go home, I'm trying to read the Bible for me, because I'm going to keep myself on fire, and I'm going to keep myself excited and giving 110%. And then I realized that, yeah, I need to read my Bible, I need to pray, but it's not me changing myself, it's God changing me. So I hope that as we're all here, that especially the teens, that we can rely on God to change us and not us to change us.
Amen. All right. So we have a brief video. It's not 20 minutes like last year. But I just want to play this video for you real quick just so you can kind of get an idea of what happened. So you'll see chapel time, you'll see a lot of game times, and just some craziness. So here we go. You might need to hit play, sorry.
Chase your dreams. Come